Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, actually.
Perfect. Good. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Let me just
All right.
move it out. Give me
Okay.
a
Well,
second.
I'll record this for you, even though you're streaming, but just so that you
Nice,
have a VOD of it. Maybe
nice.
your VODs get deleted at some point. It's good to have a backup.
For
So,
sure, thank you.
uh, but yeah, before we go into the review, I just want to talk a little bit about you and the games and other games that you're playing of League right now.
Yeah,
Like, if
sure.
there's anything in particular that you want to focus on more, like, do you feel like laning is your biggest weakness? Do you feel like positioning in team fights is your biggest weakness? Like, what would you say you struggle
Act-
with?
I think actually in mid lane at the moment my biggest weakness is that I don't use my prio, or I have no idea how to use my prio. So because of this, I also I'm not sure how I want to play the lane, and so I play it badly. So I think lane is actually the mod thing I want to improve. But by no means my positioning teamfight is really good or something. So I think it's
Mm.
just my outstanding weakness. I mean, it's solo queue. It doesn't really get punished, but especially in competitive, I feel like I'm missing quite a few changes. Like I have prior
Yeah.
and I just walk around, place a ward, don't know what to do, and I think I'm missing a lot there.
Okay. So about your OPGG, it's a bit weird in the sense that your games are spread across multiple days, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like you play too much. Is that because you're playing a lot of custom games, or why? Why is this?
Actually, I we had playoffs, and so we had boot
Yeah.
camp and played customs, and
Yeah.
then I didn't play because I
Yeah.
didn't
Okay.
feel like it.
So okay, because I kind of want to see like what champs are you playing right now? Like, what do
Yeah,
you feel like you're playing a lot? And I see Anivia, I see Seraph. What else?
Ziggs is actually my most played competitive champ for sure. And to
Do you
be
like mages?
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mostly play control mage. Actually, the reason I wanted to start coaching is that I learn a different playstyle as well, but I'm not that far yet. So this would be something
Yeah.
to discuss later on. And in competitive, nearly only play Anivia 6. So I always blind pick it and I always play it whenever it's open, and it's mostly open one of these two. If I don't get, I play a lot of Corki as well. Um, and if really, this is actually more or less all I played competitive this season. I think obviously there are some picks that make sense, like a Silas if it's really good matchup or something. But these four are probably one. And I played Ari in a few scrims, but actually not in officials because I just think
Hmm.
the champ isn't that good.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't mind playing mages. I play a lot of mages myself, and I really like Anivia. She was my second most played back in like season 8. Um, but my issue is like basically what you were saying. Like you end up blinding a lot,
Yes,
and when you blind champs like this, there is so many champs they can play that becomes so annoying. Like they can pick Seraph, Syndra, Orianna, all of this stuff, and if they're
indeed.
good at spacing, it's really annoying, right?
For sure. This is
So
like a self prophesying prophecy or something because I have so less good counter picks so that
yeah,
my counter picks isn't worth. So I blind pick because other in my team can better counter the counter pick.
yes.
And so I just found two champs like Anivia 6. Obviously, the counter matchups are annoying, but most are somehow playable. So
Well, I
this
would
can work.
say, I would say for Sigs, it's really playable. Like if I was to blind off your champ pools, I would do these two because if I'm playing Sigs versus bad matchup, I can still farm.
Yeah, agree.
If you're playing Anivia versus a good Syndra, you can't even farm.
Yeah,
Like it is so painful.
for sure.
Um, so only thing I'd really say about your champ pool is that I would just learn better blind picks. You know,
Yeah.
like I'd learn to play Syndra or maybe Twisted Fate or some stuff like this. You know, just
Yeah, I
anything
kind of agree.
anything similar to your playstyle, like other mages. Because I think when you're a mage player, it's really easy to pick up the other mages because the core of their kit is very similar. Like right now, Victor is quite strong, right? And he's always been a safe blind pick whenever he's strong.
Yeah, agree.
Like sure, he doesn't have perfect matchups because every champion has some counters, but every matchup that is like kind of hard for him is still playable. So I would just look to learn one or two more blind picks, and then I think you're fine. Like obviously you're not playing any AD champs. You can learn AD champs later down the line, like Yone or Tristana, these type of things. Um,
What do you think
but
about
I
action at the moment? Do you think it's
think it's fine.
yeah?
I think if you're really good on him, it's really disgusting. His Fog of War play is really good. But I really like Yone.
Yeah.
Even before Lethal Tempo, I think Yone was a bit underrated. But I think that's a bigger issue because then that's a completely different playstyle and different skill set you need to play those type of champs. So I would just quickly fix the blind pick issue, because if I was to play versus you in competitive or coaching a team that was going to play versus you, it's really easy. Like, we understand that, okay, you want to play a Nivea blind pick. We can easily prep against that, right?
Yeah.
And sure, you're not going to int, but you're not going to carry, right?
For sure.
There's no way you're going to hack the game and win as a Nivea versus Syndra, right? Unless you are like 10 times better player versus the Syndra. So I would just try to get whatever safe blind pick to the same skill level your Nivea is at.
Yeah.
And you said that your counter picks aren't really worth. I don't really agree with that. I think Anivia and Seraph are really insane counter picks. Like, there are some matchups where Seraph is so insane, like versus Anivia or versus Cassiopeia or Oriana, these type of things. Seraph is really good.
I completely agree. Sadly, these are the only two, so this is a normal
Of
second
course,
ban phase
yeah,
for
if
the
they get
enemies.
banned on second phase, obviously.
So this was kind of what we are facing. But
Yes.
I generally agree. And I also think that while Syndra is definitely the better matchup into Anivia, I think some people just pick Seraph and countered our whole combo when I picked Anivia. Like, I completely agree on the statement that the pick is
Yes.
exploitable.
Yeah, I mean that's why I stopped playing Anivia a lot, because this is what would happen to me. Like, I would my champ pool was basically like Veigar, Anivia, Victor, and Karthus, and I would get countered by the same champ, Seraph, every game.
Yeah, agree.
So I was just like, okay, well, I can't keep playing this, because it didn't matter like how good I was on these champs, because Seraph would just outrange every single one and counter me no matter what I did.
Yeah.
So
Also,
I just
kind
had
of.
to learn other champs like Kassadin and stuff.
Yeah, I think this is also kind of a problem that my champion pool, besides Corki, doesn't like to go side. So I
Yeah.
put my team in kind of a weird position because we have to play 4-1. And my
Yeah.
side laner can never pick something that he gets demolished on side, of course.
Yep. And the big issue with this is just imagine your enemy team and you know all this info.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
easy to see this info, right?
Yeah,
So
it
it's
was
easy to
like
prep.
you have to imagine me going into players and was like, guys, if if the mid laner knows what he's doing, we can't pick like that. And it never happened actually. And this obviously kind of annoying as well for me because I think I'm really explorable and people don't do it. But I think I want to fix this. I really understand your point that yeah, picking up Syndra again, I obviously played pretty much all the mages back then. I just stopped playing them at some point, so I would pick them up kind of easily. But on the other side, I have like 2 months now, like because our season just starts in February or something. So I think it would be a nice challenge to learn a different playstyle and go a bit more out of comfort zone. Even thought I played now 20 relay games and I still have the feeling like I need like 200 of them to actually be a person on the champ. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I try to play a different playstyle and at the same time play Sunta because it will. I don't know. I think I need like 20 games on Sunta and I actually would be ready to play a competitive if needed.
Yeah. So I'd say these 6 champs are pretty safe blinds. Obviously, every champion has counters. Like, there are matchups where you're playing Oriana and it's really fucking annoying. There are matchups like LeBlanc where you're playing versus a good Malzahar and it can be annoying, or a good Lulu, for example, in mid lane can be annoying. But it's always playable because you are very safe and you don't scale that bad. Like, I'd much rather play Oriana versus Seraph than Anivia versus Seraph, because at least with Oriana we can catch him easier and I can be useful in early fights for my jungler, right?
Agree.
Um,
Do you think Twisted Fate is like my problem with Twisted Fate is always that highest level I see Twisted Fate as really strong blind pick, but I'm not quite sure if on the semi-professional level I'm not quite sure if I could survive lanes against good assassin players or something if they are on the same level as me, because I think I play the wave not good enough. If you get my
yeah,
point.
but that's not a good way to judge a champion's strength, right?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. Okay.
that's like saying Kiana is weak because I can't combo, right? Or I don't know my
Okay,
limits.
I get you.
So, like, I think all these champs are fine blind. It just depends on the game. Like, if I have Riven versus, let's say, Gnar in top lane, and I have, like, Elise jungle, or, well, not Elise, like, let's say, like, Nidalee or something like that, I don't want to play Oriana blind pick in a game like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we are going to dive top lane. We're going to play to dive top. My jungler wants to invade. If we don't get to invade jungle, my jungle champ is completely useless. So here I want to blind TF. I don't care about my lane, because it's not about the lane this game.
Okay.
So it's like, if we have a top side matchup that matters a lot, like let's say I have Jax and enemy has Camille, right? Whoever wins that game is probably going to be through top lane, right? Because the matchups are so explosive.
Yeah.
So if I'm on the Jax team here, I would again want a mid laner that can try to help this matchup. I can't really do that if I'm playing Orianna or Victor blind pick.
Agree.
So let's say we are red side, they picked Camille whenever, right? And we answer Jax here. And now I have to blind mid lane. I would want stuff like TF. I would want stuff that can impact side lane. Galio, these type of champs, you know?
Yeah.
So in the just mid lane situation, yes, TF is not too great of a blind, because there's tons of matchups. Like, I'm sure if enemy blind picks TF, you're never like, fuck. You're always like, yeah, nice. I'll just play my lane, right?
Sure.
But your other teammates feels pretty bad, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if your bot lane matchup is like, you have a Kalista, and now the Kalista can't snowball and dive because you are saying after every wave, guys, TF can move, TF can move, TF will dive. It's annoying, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a pretty strong blind pick in the sense that you're blind picking mid lane and you're able to do all of these things. There's no other champs that's really like that. So
yeah,
those are the mages I would consider. You already play Corki, which is great. I think Corki now with the new changes are really, really nice. I really like Corki right now. For the AD mids, I think Tryndamere was really good. He's a bit weaker now. I think Yon is really strong, obviously. Yasuo some games is strong. I think Tristana mid is a bit underrated, but now with champs like Syndra and Victor being played again, it's a bit annoying. But if you're ever playing versus champs that can't like do anything when you jump on top of them, like Orianna, Tristana is not too bad against. But in the end, it's just about being comfortable. Like, especially at this level of play, you can play whatever you want as long as you're good at it.
For sure, completely agree. I mean, this is what I did now for 2 years or something, but I kind of have the feeling that...
Yeah, but you're good at mages, so that's why I really want you to learn mages.
Yeah,
I don't
makes
think
completely sense.
I don't think you necessarily need to learn Yone, because it's completely different, but there is no reason to force blind pick Anivia, because I really believe you can get as good as you are on Anivia on stuff like Victor.
Yeah.
Because it's similar. Anivia is very hard champ. It's very good that you actually play her. A lot of people don't actually understand how hard Anivia is. But if you're able to play Anivia, easily you can learn stuff like Ori.
Yeah, probably.
Do you remember your rune page on Seraph this game?
Yeah, actually it was... I was thinking about... I did Mana Flow Ban, Transistent, Scorch, and I got for free boots with cookies. And I actually didn't pick up attack speed. I think in double range matchup, I normally go double AP. I think, yeah. I was thinking about going first strike here, because I thought the lane is pretty free. But then we had Trundix in jungle matchup, and we're thinking like, okay, maybe I need a bit more pressure on lane, and I actually think with Comet I can pressure Anivia a bit more. So
yeah. So I also play a lot of Seraph, and I usually pick him into like Asir and stuff like that. And I have tried greedy runes versus Asir, and I've tried like full psychopath runes. So the conclusion I came to is that if I go full scaling versus Asir, like something like this, I don't actually win, because if he goes airy and I have this, he can actually like poke and deal with me, and when he gets low, he's already farmed like 4 waves and he can just base.
yeah.
So I couldn't actually win. So I was like, but I don't want to go Scorch because it's such a bad rune. So I did some maths, and on Seraph, Scorch is actually not that bad of a rune. Because at 20 minutes, this rune is still fine on Seraph. Because you can proc it every time it's up, and Seraph's AP ratios are not too crazy, that this is not that good. When the game is 10 minutes, Scorch deals more damage than Gathering. So from 0 to 19 minutes, Scorch will be better on Seraph. So that's quite a long period of the game. Because when it's 20 to 29 on the next phase of gathering, it's not like it's a lot better. You will still have scenarios where Scorch is better, like if you just do a Q poke, for example. So, yeah, I agree with Scorch. I think your entire page here is not too bad. It's good. I would, like I said, I would go full like damage versus like lanes like Asir. You know, because I think you need to keep poking him. Otherwise, he'll be able to all in you with ulti, and he'll just push and roam to side, and you don't want that to happen. But except for that, I think this is fine. For second page, issue with this is you are so slow and easy to catch. So you have to keep that in mind when you're playing. I also go this, but you just have to keep it in mind because enemy will have boots, and you can't like hold your Q and run towards them. They'll catch you.
Yeah,
So,
especially Aniva with wireless actually able to.
This one just depends what you're building. If you're gonna get tear in your build, I would never go this. If you're not gonna go tear and you're gonna go stuff like Horizon Focus, then you need this because you actually go. But if you're going tear and this, then yeah, then you're just trolling because you don't need this if you have tear.
But what doesn't it give me more AP? Isn't this something to consider? Like,
it will give you like 2 AP, but not anymore actually.
No,
because
Seraph's you get ability.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, on the old one you'd get like 2 AP probably, but that's not really worth.
Yeah.
Because you could get this, and then you could get like plus 60 AP because you have an item that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is okay. So, your options here are just these three. I would go this, like I said, versus like Asir if I think I'm gonna like fight a lot. If I think like versus Anivia, she will never reach me. I can greed. I think I don't go I will go this. I don't think that Tear is as good on Seraph anymore now because now it gives ability haste, that item. Now stuff like Horizon Focus and stuff will just out damage it quite a bit, and especially Rabadons. And I think on champs like Seraph, you need to deal as much damage as possible because otherwise, you're useless, right?
Yeah, I agree. I thought about I thought about building T here because I was pretty sure that Anivia will build it, and I thought like maybe I can build against it. So normally I go the build you see there, actually like something like that. I just like skipping tiers for more mid game power. But in this game I got kind of annoyed. At first recall, I think I didn't had lost chapter, and then I decided like, oh, let's just go tier to scale against. But I kind of agree that it's not that good on Seraph anyway, right? I think it's not stronger late game, so why build it at all?
Yeah, I think it was an argument you could make before the changes, because then it was a lot more AP. Now that it gives CDR, it's kind of whatever. Like, CDR is actually not that great on Seraph. Like, it sounds good, because it's like, oh, I can throw out more Qs. But in reality, the game doesn't work like that. You can't just stand here, cast a Q, and then enemy won't do anything, and then you cast a Q again, and then you cast a Q again. You don't get to do that. You get to only cast like 2 Qs, and you need those 2 Qs to hurt,
Yeah.
So I like having like a baseline of like 30 to 40 ability haste. Anything more than that is kind of a waste,
Yeah, I agree.
That's why you don't buy items like Cosmic Drive on Seraph. First Strike, I think is interesting. It's fine. I played it 2 games on him. The gold is really random though. You don't get anything in early game really. You get more later.
Yeah.
I feel like Seraph is already great later on, so I didn't like it much. But you can get good numbers, but it's just like, it makes you stronger later, but I feel like Seraph is already strong later, so I'd rather win my lane and make sure the game isn't over in early game, right?
Yeah. I also was a bit surprised about how bad it was early. I played it in the melee match and was like, oh yeah, we'll get 300 gold first back or something.
Yeah.
And it was like
You
50
get like
gold.
50. Yeah.
Oh wow. But I ended the game with 1,000 extra gold or something, but it didn't feel like it changed the game. It was just we were winning, and then we won harder, obviously.
Yes.
But didn't change the.
But whether you get an amp tome late game or not doesn't matter.
Agree.
You
Yeah.
would rather make enemy base and lose a wave because you deal more damage.
Would you pick it in a free lane? Like, is this something you consider like, okay, maybe?
Well, the thing is, if it's a free lane, like let's say Anivia is really free, right?
Yeah,
if you're the Anivia, wouldn't you be happy seeing that Seraph has that? Because keep in mind, if you go first strike, you have to go these runes. So, like, Now you only have 2 options here, right? You're not going to go this, because now you go
Yeah.
right? This is unplayable. So you have to go this. So not only did you lose Comet, you also lost Scorch. So if I'm Anivia and I see you have this, I'm actually happy. Now the matchup is a lot more playable.
Actually, it's maybe even winnable if Xerath missteps or lose flash.
Yeah, because the thing you need to think about Seraph is he's gonna Q you once every wave in early game, right? And then 2 times later on. So if you can survive pushing free wave versus Seraph, then you can just base once you get low.
Yeah.
And that's my issue with stuff like this. You take too long. And Victor is a similar champ. Like if you're playing Victor versus people, in early game you'll see that when you have like 3 points in your E, it's not gonna deal that much damage and they'll just like ignore you. Sure, you'll poke them a bit, right? But they'll get pushed and they'll move, and eventually they'll get low, they'll just push and base.
Yeah.
And if they can do that, you're not actually winning, because they're the ones basing first and stuff. They have first move, they have first base. So, yeah, I would not go this on Seraph. It looks good, but I don't think it's good.
Do you think the whole Rune is bait? Because it's a mid-game Rune? and
I
you
think
can't
it's good
really
on Ezreal, I think it's fine on Karthus. On everyone else, I think it's kind of bait, yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, it's a new rune, everyone wants to try it, and you're gonna get some games where it does some good numbers. But every rune gives you good numbers in some games, right?
Oh, do you like it on Corki? I didn't do the math.
Yeah, Corki, yes.
Corki
Because
probably.
Corki doesn't have good runes, you know? It's like
Yeah.
you can go fleet, you can go lethal tempo, but they're both like whatever. And Corki likes inspiration, he likes scaling.
Yeah.
So on Corki, I play this. This is what I do on Corki. And now I'm so tanky, but I deal so much damage.
And in a tricky matchup, you would go second wind, or do you rather overgrow?
Well, I don't think Corki has tricky matchups. I think
Okay.
like you have Q and R to farm. Your R gets unlocked at level 6, right? So every matchup is pretty simple. You can do it if you want, but I feel like when you do stuff like that, you're just putting a band-aid over your mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's not a very good approach to improving.
Yeah, I see that. Fine with me. Okay, so actually, in this game, we what was my biggest concern?
Also,
like,
one last thing
Yeah.
on runes.
Sure.
Since I don't build any CDR on most of my champs, like I just build damage, and I go Cosmic Drive on stuff like Orianna and TF, like obviously champs that want CDR. I use this rune a lot, like I heard you mention this,
Yeah.
but this rune will give you like 1 extra damage, like 1 to 2 extra damage after MR
Yeah.
per Q. It's like so useless. Whereas this one is basically a Transcendence. This is 8 ability haste flat, regardless of levels, you know? So it's basically Transcendence. So I go this on champs like Seraph. I go this on Veigar, I go this on Rice. On champs like Zoe and LeBlanc, I go attack speed because you want it for push and trading.
Yeah.
But you're never going to walk up an auto enemy mid, right, as Seraph. So I would go this, and then you basically have 2 Transcendence.
I actually never in my life took it, but it sounds decent
Yeah.
since they changed it, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah, thanks. I will remember it. I mean, I could actually go it on 6 as well. I think it's
Yeah, I
probably
go it on 6. All those type of champs.
Yeah. No, never picked it.
I don't go it on Anivia because it actually makes the casters live on 2 HP.
Oh
So-
yeah, I remember the Frog video about it. He was really pissed when
Yeah.
they changed their back. But yeah. So what annoys me about this game? This game was a huge win. Scrim enemies weren't that prepared, and jungler made some bad mistakes. But what happened here is something that happens quite often. That I walked into the lane not knowing what I want from the lane, so I started W actually because I want to poke him, which I think it's okay because I had no plan. But what actually will happen is that I know that Xin will level 3 gank me, because they kind of feel desperate, and it was just something that was discussed. And I still happen in a wave state that actually makes this able to work. So I need backup from my jungler. And I think it's kind of tricky because I play a lot of top lane as well. We also mix it in scrim sometimes, and I pretty much always play Cannon.
That's where your Urgot is coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
I was confused. I was like, does the guy play Urgot mid?
It's actually my I pick top as a second role, but so
Yeah.
Urgot is my most played because you get top lane 50% of the time. sadly.
Yeah.
And I always push 3 waves into cannon wave, recall, get a call, or place a deep board, and it's so natural to me. And then at midlane, I'm actually struggling because I actually don't exactly know how I want to play waves, because I think slow push is so much harder to set up in mid lane, and I just don't know.
Yeah, enemy mid has more wave clear than in top lane.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, in top lane, if you're a level ahead, enemy can't even walk up to hit the minions
Yeah,
and stuff like
exactly.
that.
So it seems easier, and it was some. I enjoyed the Lee Sin Silas mid lane meta where you just push each other in the face until some of them die. But at the moment, I'm actually kind of clueless. So if you have something to help me out, feel free.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing about this, like the issue you have here is adapting to what enemy jungle is, because you can get away with what you want to do if they're like Udyr or Karthus, or if they're a jungler that wants to just full clear, then the way that you want to play this lane, you can do it. But when they are playing Xin Zhao, Rek'Sai, these types of stuff, you cannot do this. So, you mentioned you want to W and you want to push and poke her, right?
Yeah.
If she is LeBlanc and her jungler is Lee Sin, would you do that?
God bless, no.
Okay, so why?
Yeah, because the kill pressure is really high.
So why is it different? Their Anivia Xin Zhao, isn't it the same? If Seraph is standing here, isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, probably.
So why do we overcomplicate it? Why do we think versus LeBlanc, Lee Sin, we can't do it, but versus Anivia Xin Zhao, we can, when it's the same thing? It's basically just, if they have ganking jungler, you're playing immobile mage, you have to be careful with how you want to play your second and third wave.
Agree.
Once you crash the wave, it's going to push into you and you'll be fine. But you need a side to hug. You need to make sure your jungler will be on that side. You need to understand, if you are going to push, then that has to be good for the game. Because the only reason to actually push is, 1, if pushing means you deal more damage to her, or 2, if it helps your team. Right? Those are like the main reasons why. 3 would be like you want to base and stuff, but you don't really want to base after second or third wave here. So this is not really an option here. But these are the main things. So you just have to discuss with Trent, like, where does he want to path? Okay, he wants to go for bot scuttle. How do we want to get bot scuttle? Do we want to get bot scuttle through mid push? Okay, well, if we want to do that, I'm playing versus Xin Zhao and Nivea. They can gank me. Then I need to make sure I have hover or vision. We need to know 100% where Xin Zhao is coming from, where he is ganking, so I can adapt.
Agree.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, actually, in the game, we fixed it on the fly, and the fix was good. But
why are we in a situation where we have to fix it on the fly, right?
Exactly.
We can know this already here. Like, I'm fucking saying in draft, if I'm playing this game, if I'm Seraph, every time I'm playing Seraph, every time, I'm saying I will stomp my lane. I just need vision and I need mid to be 1v1. If mid is 1v1, Seraph is so disgusting champ.
Agree.
But if this guy can hover in fog, or this guy's like a pike and he is hovering, it's hard for me to do much. So if they want mid lane to be useful this game, they have to path through me, they have to walk through mid lane, they have to make stuff happen to me, because I can't rotate to my team as Seraph. I'm slow, I can't face check, if somebody gets on top of me, I'm dead, right? They need to understand this.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just something that I think it's actually bad habits that we tend to talk about prior on the lanes a lot. I actually miss my first 5 Ws, by the way, for some reason. But we talk a lot about priors. And actually, there are games where we talk about that I need a side to play and I need a side to hack and that we need informations. But it's not yet natural to me to talk about it. I think it should definitely be, because pretty much all my champions are like that, right? Anivia
yes, exactly.
Especially
every single one except for like Corki.
Yeah, maybe Ziggs. I think he can at least escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this is just something I need to remember in champ select. But what would you want to do? Like, if we pause here, if you see champ select, like, if we want, let's say we want to play mid over crab, would you want to crash third wave with jungle backup and watch?
Trundle can't help mid and bot, so we have to look at it like this. Do we want a 3v3 bot, or do we want a 2v2 mid? which one do we want to do? So like I look at bot lane, and it's like, okay, Soraka, Leona, sure, Soraka can like heal and stuff, but it's not too insane, right? And I know this guy will legit be like this HP if I get to 1v1, right? And he'll have to TP back to mid. So I wouldn't want Trundle to gank anywhere. I just want him to stand here before crab spawn, you know? Like I would want Trundle to do some path like this, like red, this, and then just come here and be here as I'm trying to crash. And that's it. Then I just hug here. Only way they get on me is if they have flashes on me, and then I'll just trade flashes, right? And it'll be fine.
So you would yourself get pushed in?
No, I would try to poke her, just like you're doing.
Yeah.
But I would have this planned all along. You know? Like,
Yeah.
so that when I'm pushing, it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
I think the way that you aim skill shots is really bad also. Like, if you look here, you're just like gambling. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you just instantly get into your range and you instantly cast it.
Yeah.
And you need to treat your spells as if they cost like 200 mana. Because if you treat your spells like they cost 200 mana, you're not going to cast them like this. Like, what I want is you should always be inside of your W cast range. Because that way you're always pressuring. Right? Like, watch how, if you're the Anivia, right? You know that Seraph is not going to W you right now. Because he can't.
Agree.
You also know he can't do it now. But look, as soon as you get into range, you cast it. It's very easy to play versus you if you're going to do this on repeat, right? So you want to make sure that you walk up with your wave, you W her when she's in auto animation, you W her when she doesn't expect it. You don't walk into range and then instantly cast it and then back off. Right? You're just coin flipping your spell. And since you did this once, I bet you're going to just do this all the time.
Probably. Bad habits repeat, right?
Yeah.
Would make sense. Would you say that the range of Xerath is actually a range Anivia can contest?
No. Only with RW maybe.
Okay.
But that has to be like, Anivia has to be walking up before you even do anything for that to happen. Like here, if she has RW here, right, then she could do stuff. But early game, she can't really.
You expect me to actually dodge a long range Q from Anivia, right? So you're playing with hands, you see that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like here, you see here already, I don't like the plan we have. Look, why is Trundle doing Krugs in this game? Right? Both bot lane and mid lane was really gankable this game. So the only way it makes sense for Trundle to do Krugs here is if we saw since I started red buff, which is pinging now, it seems. Let's see.
Yeah, we actually had.
So that makes sense, but that has to be his reason. Because if he would do this when Sinsta starts blue, this is disaster.
Yeah.
Because your bot lane or you will get bot lane or you will get ganked when Trundle is doing blue. Because Trundle can't 6 camps at fucking 310. So
he probably can't even do 5. Yeah,
it's gonna be close, yeah. So now you're just gonna think like, I'm gonna get ganked from top side.
Yeah, no, actually bot side. I know there was a ping on blue, but it was troll. We discussed it in the game. Someone pinged top, and our top laner was really furious about it. So we were discussing.
But we saw that they leashed red.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what people ping or whatever. This guy was in lane instantly, so most likely started red. And then you just need to make sure. You need to make sure that you ward bot side and hug bot side. That's where your Trundle is going to go.
But I expect a gank from bot side after Raptors. I expect.
But then he's only. If he full clears this, then he's level 3. But if he full clears, you would have vision of it with your ward. Like I would look to once I start slow pushing, because we need to understand what our lane state will be. If I'm getting pushed in, I don't really care about vision.
Agree.
But if I know I'm slow pushing in, and I'm gonna have to crash, then I would place a ward.
So you would
like
place
I do this ward a lot. No, not yet. You'll see like once you're on cooldown and stuff. Like here, this is where I ward a lot.
Yeah. I think it was Faker ward called and.
Yeah, but here, like now, look. When minions are low like this, that's when you should never be able to miss a skill shot.
Yeah, agree.
Because now she has to make a choice. Either 1, dodge your spell, but then lose 20 gold. Or 2, take the 20 gold, but lose like 100-ish HP.
Agree.
And then look. See? Like you W, but she hasn't even autoed.
Yeah, it was terrible. Agree.
Right? So that's another habit to just try to build. Like wait until she's in the auto animation and then just cast it.
Yeah. But when would you place the ward now? Would you already have warded?
No, I wouldn't place it yet.
Okay.
I would look when Trundle is entering bot side, because then it makes no sense for Sinsao anymore to be here, you know?
Yeah. Actually, now we just discussed this Xynis faster.
Like,
faster
there's
clearing.
2 options for Sinsao now. 1, he did red buff and he's just puffing up.
Mhm.
Or 2, he's full clearing his bot side right now. And if he full clears bot, he can gank you like this when he transitions.
Yes.
So the issue is like, if you ward right now, you might fish check him. Because he might
Exactly,
finish Krugs and run here, and then he sees you walk like this and he might come.
Yeah. And
That's
now
why it's tricky.
I actually have like a slow push, and now we fix this on the fly because I say my jungler I can't push this. I expect Sin to be there. You have to cover after Raptors and transition.
Yeah, and that's really fucking bad. If I'm Trundle, I will mute you and I will just go farm.
I agree.
Because
but
I shouldn't have to.
yeah, exactly.
But if I was Trundle, I wouldn't do this. I would be now walking to my blue. And then I could come in 30. That's why I'm saying, like, there's not much you can do about this. Only thing you can really do is maybe when you see that Trundle is full clearing for whatever reason, then stop pushing. That's the only solution you can do.
Yeah, I can be in a different wave state, right? I could
Yeah.
get pushed in and then I don't mind.
Yeah, but the issue with that is, if I'm getting pushed in as Seraph, that means I'm probably not poking, because you push naturally by poking.
Mm.
And I kind of want to poke. I want Anivia to lose her TP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I don't think there's much you can do. You can adapt, yes, but it's bad that you have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
But that's how you should play when this happens, yes, but that shouldn't happen in a team environment. So I would rather just discuss it with Trundle, like, Trundle is not happy doing this, and you're not happy that your Trundle is full clearing.
Yeah.
Because Trundle is losing a lot of time now that he could be farming. Okay, good. Get the slash. So now we know that Sinsao has to go topside.
Yes. Actually, bot lane got a free, so game is pretty much over on the spot. But I mean, I still like, my frustration is from the point that I happened to be in the wave state, and I don't even wanted it, you know. Like I just played randomly, got a slow push, and was like, oh god, I got a slow push. And this is kind of like, this never happens if I play bot lane or top lane, because the wave is so long that you always think about,
Yes.
do I want to slow push or not? And I feel like I'm really, really clueless at this.
And one thing, like this ward, like this is very likely now to create a little blind spot here. Just place it exactly like here. That's why you get full vision here and full vision here.
Oh,
you really don't want to play with blind spots, because blind spots is going to kill you. Like, you're going to hug here and then he's going to gank here and you're like, what the fuck, how didn't I see him?
Yeah. Okay. True.
And the biggest issue with warding right there is, look how much free time she got on the wave.
Hmm.
See that? Like,
Yeah.
we need to understand vision. Like, what does vision mean, right? It means that we see somebody, but we don't always need vision to actually see somebody, right?
Agree.
A lot of the time we can see them without actually seeing them. We know he has to be topside. He has not a single camp bot-side. He's just level 3, he had red buff only. So there's no fucking way he's gonna now run back like this and gank you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna ward, you need to make sure that 1, you're not losing any gold, 2, you're not losing any time on the wave, right? So like, this here could be an option to ward.
Yeah, and what did I do?
Nothing. Look.
Lovely. Oh yeah, Xim was there.
Yeah. So then he ganks, so then you can't ward. So that makes sense. Now you have Q, so of course you don't ward, you want to Q her. And now you should just be... Yeah, but doesn't matter if you miss, right? That's just happens. Now, if I was you, I would just hit the wave and make sure she can't base. If I ward, it's useless because I know he will be topside. I have no reason to hug topside. My Trundle has entire bot side to hug.
Yeah.
And farm, right? So there's no point in warding. I will lose too much damage and time on the wave, and then Nivea will just get to push and base. You want to keep her hostage now. The only way she comes back to lane is by TPing, is what you want.
Agree.
And if you lose your TP versus Seraph early game, that is so sad. Because he's gonna poke you more later. And then you're gonna wish you a TP, but she doesn't. So. Because now, what you're doing is good. You should just keep hitting minions. You should keep trying to poke her. And you should just make sure she can't base. Using E for creep like that when you're that low mana is really bad.
For sure.
So like you see how you're like running away right now?
Yeah, actually, I
Doesn't
was
make
so
any
worried,
sense,
yeah.
right? Where he
I
can
could just
only
play
gank from
bot
here.
side, right?
Yeah, you can just stand here and hit minions.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad that can happen. And then you can just ward over this wall too, if you're really scared of them coin flipping something.
Yeah.
Because now you give her so much free time to hit minions and Q the wave. If I'm Anivia, I would just try to hard push now and set up a base.
Yeah, same. Actually, if I would play against me, it's like an invitation. Also, I don't hit creeps now, so she can actually push. And the
Yeah,
poke
but you don't
doesn't
have
matter.
time to. Even if you start hitting creeps now, it's too late. See?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have enough clear. And then you would have to use mana on minions, and that's bad. You want to use mana on her.
Mhm.
So you're basically just going for vision that you already had. That's the big mistake here.
Yeah. I think in general, it's like hugging one side is something I don't do enough. Like, there's no way that he doesn't even have flash, right? I mean, how does he want to gank me from top side? I mean, I don't know the information.
You need to keep bombing her. Like, you need to keep using WQ. Again, Seraph is about time, right? It's like a clock. Like, every fucking 10 seconds, you're taking 100 damage away from enemy.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, you need to stay inside your range because it's really easy to outplay your spells. When you're playing like this, your range is here with your W, and she's not inside of it ever.
Yeah.
So if you now start walking up, she knows to dodge it because that's what you're gonna do. Instead, you should be always trying, whenever your W is about to come up, you should always try to have her in the range. So when you see when you're gonna hit, you can do it. Like now you should be walking up, look your cursor. You're clicking upwards. Why? Right? Why are you clicking here? That doesn't allow you to do anything good, right? She wants to farm these minions. Why aren't you trying to position in a way where you can stop her from doing that? You have plenty of mana, you have biscuits. See? She autos this minion. Doesn't take a single bit of damage.
Yeah.
She's gonna walk up and auto this minion. Look. Look your cursor.
Seems like
there's no intention to harass her.
Yeah. No, you're completely correct.
So
I mean,
it just keeps happening over and over, see?
Yeah. I mean, the only argument you could somehow find is that I want this wave state to stand, but even if I poke her with W, I don't change the wave state, so this doesn't work as well.
And if I break my freeze, but she becomes this HP, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I agree, you should be freezing, but she's standing away from minions. So you Wing doesn't change anything. You lose cannon doing this, by the way. Like, you lost cannon there. That's something to keep in mind. Like, look here. See? Like, you can kill the cannon before you do this. Watch. Like, here, when you know there's going to be a play, just get rid of this cannon.
Would you cue it?
No. Just auto it here.
Okay.
Before you walk up. So that you could just auto it and then do it.
Multitasking. But yeah, sure. Correct, yeah. For sure.
So Lulu has no flash now, since I has no flash. Now you're thinking, what do I do? Do I push and base? Do I freeze and then base?
Exactly, yeah.
What do I do? If I was you now, I would just try to lane for the best recall possible, and we would just trade TPs. Like, she's gonna TP back now. So I would just try to stay in lane for like 300 more gold, just to get chapter. Oh fuck! Oh no! See, you have to stay another wave. Like, you have to just accept that you're gonna have to TP back to get a really fucking good base.
Yeah.
Like, now she's gonna come and she could freeze on you.
Yeah, I think this is something that's happened in
See,
the
like
past
now,
really often to me. She actually doesn't freeze. She's really
yes,
dumb,
but doesn't
yeah.
doesn't matter what she does, right? Like,
yeah, completely agree.
now if she walks up here, freezes, you have to TP back, and now your wave is bad. So wave is bad, and your items are bad, and you
Yeah.
have to use TP. So like, the only options here, there's two options. There's one where you base quickly and save TP, and then there's one that you greed for better item and lose TP.
Yeah.
I would greed for better item because me having TP up on Seraph is really useless, right? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
me having TP, I'm not gonna TP and dive top lane, right?
I
That's
would
not. I'm
report you for
I'm not
that,
playing
probably.
Lissandra.
Yeah.
So it's just like me having 2 amp tomes or me having chapter. Chapter is so good on Seraph, right? It's so strong. So therefore, I would just be like, okay, I'll just keep this freeze. After this wave, next, and another wave, I will have chapter. I'll TP back and I'll completely dominate the lane. That's
Yeah,
how
for
I would
sure.
play this.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I think I kind of had the moment when I was actually basing, I was like, ah, then fuck me. Because the record is really terrible, right? This is why I played Here, by the way. Because the record was so terrible. But yeah,
Yes.
agree.
We could change that, right? So
Yeah. And I also thought in the game that she can freeze here. And she obviously doesn't. It's really lucky for me. But this could have been really terrible. Now I'm just trolling. We actually had Vision on Xin, and he's ganking me from top side.
Yeah, and also your camera control shows that you have no clue that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because look your camera, you would never have your camera like this if you expect Xin Zhao to come from top side.
Yeah. Completely.
Because the thing is like, look now. See this?
Yeah.
We see Xin Zhao, but we don't see him on your screen, and this is exactly why camera control is so important.
Yeah.
Because look your cursor and everything. See? All your clicks are forward, but we saw Xin Zhao all this time. So, like, this means that, obviously in hindsight, it's easy to realize, right? But in the game, there's something that's distracting you here, something that makes you lose focus, something that you're thinking about that is not Xin Zhao. What do you think you're thinking here?
Lane assignment, actually. Because we have... I thought about that having TP advantage on set is so useful. So I thought about maybe I can actually just move top and catch the wave so set doesn't have to P top. And I thought so much about lane states that I actually didn't. I mean, we had vision on Xin there, right? I would never play like this if I know that Xin is top side. And I just got lost in my own thinking.
But I refuse to lane top lane at Seraph.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah, sure.
So if you're going top, it has to be to grab a wave or two and then you're getting back mid, because I refuse to stay top lane. I'm not going to stay top lane as Seraph. I am going to get perma dove. If we are ever bot side, I will get insta dove. I'll be weak side, I'll lose 30 CS randomly. Right?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. So if you're going to go top, it has to be you clicking top lane right now.
Yeah.
And then you just catch 2 waves and then you guys swap back.
Yeah.
That could be something, but I'm not perma laning top.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care what my set says, I am not going to do that. Because there will be a time where Trundle has to clear bot jungle, right? And then Anivia will get to slow push on me, and they will just die me.
Yeah.
And then my counterplay is to lose 30 waves for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just thought about the TP advantage because the bot lane ward is so good. But I think set TP spot anyway in the end, and I just lose my flash because I'm distracted. So, I mean, I don't have to really think in this team. Actually, there are enough people that can shot call and think, and I could just play my game, and it would probably be beneficial for everyone.
Because now you lose so much.
Where I think I actually moved top.
Yeah, but like I said, if you want top waves, that could happen right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Right now, you could call this.
And I think it would be
going top.
Be a good call, yeah.
Yeah, main thing there is just you're just distracted.
Yeah.
I would base for chapter and get back to mid ASAP.
Yeah. This was actually a call on Aatrox.
Yeah, but he has his E.
Yeah.
Like, this is unrealistic, you know?
For sure. Oh.
Like, now good luck. You guys are being frozen on top. You can't break this.
Yeah.
You can farm like 2 minions. That's all you can do.
Actually, I just pray to God.
Yeah. I hope, since I was not in this bush, and W's you right now and jumps on you and kills you.
I think I said flippity
And this is the thing, like you can't be top lane, you know. This is why I didn't want to go top.
Yeah.
Because you can't crash a wave safely. You're always gankable there. And see, now you have to TP back mid, otherwise you lose that wave. So
At least I got back mid.
yeah,
But,
at least.
yeah, I think I especially think that
But
not
at
getting
this
punished for
point,
this is tricky.
vision is so important because now your Leona is gonna have her support item most likely. So, or like any second now. So she's getting close at least. And it's so important you talk with your support, like where you need vision. Everything has to be around mid now when you're playing Seraph because again, you can't rotate. It's so annoying to play Seraph when there's fights happening here and away from you because then you have to run zigzag through the jungle, casting Qs on bushes to see if you're not face checking someone, right? And it's so hard to play like that. So just make sure you have vision, you have a side to hug, make sure your teammates are placing pinks around you because Anivia can't play the game, right? She will just keep getting poked. That's why again here, like when you push, you're moving and then you're not placing wards.
Yeah, I just wanted to use vision plant, and I wasn't sure
Yeah,
about warding Raptors.
Can't we just ward here or ward here?
I can definitely can.
If you ward at 1, then you will see the small raptors here. You'll see them do that. And obviously, yes, they can sweep it, but if they sweep it, we know they're there, right? So you always want to try to ward when you decide to go for a ward timer. Because, again, you're losing damage on Anivia here by moving. So either you move and you ward, or you don't move. Because look, we know Anivia has to go back to lane a farm here, right? So you could just stay in fog and then Q her now. Watch, she's going to walk up to the wave and you know that she has to do that. So now you could drop a Q on her and deal like 150-ish damage, right?
Yeah.
150 to 200. Instead you decide to go for a ward timer, which I think is fine. But you don't ward, which is the bad part.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It's just the same thing as before. Like either you ward and you lose damage, or you go for damage. I think that going vision here is better because we don't actually know what's going on. We don't know exactly where Sinso is, so getting vision is actually valuable. You can't enter through there. You are a Nivea player, so you know that. So you change your mind. That's good. She would just ult you and pin you to the wall with W, and you're dead. So you realized I would again go mid. Same thing as before. You want to make sure when she's doing this is happening to her HP.
Yeah.
You need to stop giving enemy mid free time like this. This is like the biggest mistake that you're doing, and it's the one of the biggest lane skills to have as a Seraph player. When you're playing Seraph and Victor, enemy mid will be able to push like this, but they need to lose their HP for doing it. She should only be able to get pushed for like 2 to 3 waves at this point of the game, because after getting pushed for this, she should be too low to continue.
What would you say if someone asks you if you have prior with Xerath against Anivia? Would you say no for 2 to 3 waves? And then...
Yeah, you don't have prio instantly. Anivia can just press the R and you can't cancel her ult.
Yes.
But she will get so low that she can't get prio. You know?
Yeah, but how do you communicate those? Would you say just like she has instant
I don't have prio right now. I can have prio on this wave. Like I can ping, you know? Like I can say like I want a prio on this wave, I'll have prio next.
Mm-hmm. And if it would
it all depends how low she is. Well,
like...
it depends how low she is, I would just say. Like
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Early I don't. At the start of laning phases, I don't. Once she gets low, I do. And then you just update it throughout the game, you know?
Yeah.
Like here, your team is doing dragon, and you guys have position. You can see enemy bot lane is under turret. Why the fuck are you still here then? Right?
Yeah, super useless.
Because it's good to hover. Because right now we don't know yet what enemy wants to do. So this is fine. That's why I said your move is good. Then we should just place wards. And now your bot lane got push, and your team is starting dragon. You should only stay if enemy can still commit to the play. Yeah. But they cannot. Yeah. Dragon is 2k HP before enemy bot lane can even fucking move. So then you need to go back to mid lane. Because when you do this, Anivia can do so much. She is so happy. She can 1, take a free base. 2, if your topside camps is up, she can go and farm them. 3, she can hover topside and roam to this. 4, they can start and set up Herald and remove all your vision topside.
Yes.
They get so many options. And they shouldn't have all of those options. Because she should be losing a lot of HP doing what she's doing.
Agree.
Like now, she just free bases for full mana. She can hover topside, remove your pink. She can do so much without losing a single bit of HP. Boom.
Actually got a heart attack because of the wall. Thought my game froze because I couldn't get the last shot off and everything.
Always W before your Q. Like, even if you think your Q will hit, it's just bait. Okay? Just always W. Like here, you're casting Q even though she's in W range.
Makes sense, yeah.
Just always get this low.
Yeah, definitely. Makes so much sense.
You only Q when it's like later on when you're like sieging and you can't use the medium range of your Q. Like if you have to use max range of your Q, then you Q first.
Yes.
But when you're in like lane like that and you can walk up to him, you always want to W. Boom. Nice.
And lucky timing, to be honest.
It's not lucky you had it planned.
Can you actually time Xin ult? Do you have it in mind?
No, I always fail it.
Okay.
Every time. It's like the one thing I can't time.
I mean, like Zonia's, for example, you kind of get used to do it, right?
Yeah, I can do that. That's easy. But Xin Sao never.
Is like, what the hell, man? So long.
Now we should just push and base. Then you greed for this, which is really bad because your teammate don't even want to place Herald. Like the only time I would really stay there is if we're going for Herald place.
Yeah. He denied my request, by the way. But I actually asked when I already took the wave, the plates.
Yeah, but it's bad to spawn Herald because we just took it.
Yeah.
Like when you just take Herald, like when you just got it, it's like such a big timer before the clock ticks, right? And Herald is gone. So the chance of us getting a better Herald play than this, like if we spawn Herald mid now, we'll get what, like 2 to 3 plates?
Yes.
Inside of this. So the chance of us getting a full turret later on, or the chance of us killing a guy and then diving them with Herald is high, right? Because we have so long left of Herald. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely makes sense, yeah.
So I think your Herald call is good if it's like 13 minutes, or if the Herald is about to run out, then I think it's fine. But that's not the play.
Yeah.
And so therefore you need to base now, because what you do now is so int, because you're playing a champ that takes so long to recall and run back on map. So you will see now that you might actually lose the entire next wave because you went for this. And it is never worth to lose a full wave to get plate. Only if you needed this 160 gold instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
What I mean by...
I have always in my mind that I would never do that on top lane, you know? Like I would never greed for a wave because it's so for a plate. But on mid lane, I don't know. I just do it. I have a rep buff. It burns on the turret. It's so great. And then I just do mistakes, not thinking about it. Kind of nice.
Like here, if I needed 160 gold right now to get my full item, I would do what you did.
Yeah.
But here it doesn't change. I'm gonna buy Blasting Wand no matter what.
Yeah.
So now you will see, one, Anivia has prio, so she can move. Your Eternal might lose his entire bot side here if enemy is good. Like if I'm Anivia here, I say I'll push and we invade bot side. Because you're hard stuck in base.
Anything from it.
Yes. So now you're hard stuck with 400 extra gold. That's completely useless. You lose a full wave because of this. And now she has full move timer and you will lose your entire bot side vision. And now just imagine they have like champs that can punish this. Like imagine Anivia is TF or Talon or Kassadin or LeBlanc or somebody that can roam around.
Yes.
Imagine Xin Zhao is like Talon or Kiana. Your game will explode right now. Trundle will get turbo invaded in jungle. Your bot lane will get launched into the wall by Kiana. Just because you wanted an extra plate.
I think I fucked my jungler over anyway. I think they actually invade with this.
Yes,
but I'm quite sure.
That should always happen.
Yeah.
So, you know. So yeah,
no,
you need to just realize that here you just need to think, I really want to base. Why? Because I have a lot of gold. Okay, if I could get another 160 gold now, does that matter? Because there will be games where it does. And if it will matter, then sure, go for it. If it won't matter, then ask yourself, will I have access to this gold later? It's 10 minutes into the game. Very likely you'll get one plate at 11 minutes or 12 or 13, right?
Yeah.
So just base. And then that way, the game will stay human, right? Like it'll just be normal, you'll just base, you'll run back, you'll get here in time if they dive, and then the game is slow and nice, and that's what we like with Seraph, right? And then we just win the game.
Yeah.
Nothing bad can really happen then. So now, same thing as before, we all just need to keep vision for the Seraph, and you will win the game alone. So Leona's doing a very good job with that.
Then they just randomly decide to fight, and I miss it.
Yeah, but the bad thing here is how you're posturing, because when your team is in enemy jungle, right? The
Yeah.
only way it goes bad is if they get caught. So look your clicks, right? Watch. So you go to farm midway, which is good. You should farm mid. That makes sense. It's good. But look how you farm it. So right now, you're able to move to the fight easily, right?
Yes.
Yet you click into top side of mid,
Yeah.
and then back to bot.
Yes, I could.
Now you're
always
already
think
like 2 seconds slower for no reason. You know? You just always want to hug this side.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, enemy Jinx is flanking. What the fuck?
Yeah, this fight was just really messy.
Okay. Okay, she has egg. Nice. I think you could have finished with E.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought about
look.
it. Like, have
So-
to stun at the end, right?
Yes, because you can't get 2 E's off anyway, so there's no point to cast it quickly. Like,
Yeah.
if your E has like 3-second cooldown, right, then using it here makes sense, because
Yeah.
you'll get another one off.
Yeah.
But making it go on CD here is really bad. You should
Yeah,
just
completely.
keep autoing her and then use it at last so that she's at least stunned.
Yeah.
Because here you just lose flash for no reason.
Yeah, and actually kill myself, right? Because how should I escape here without flash?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I think the play is kind of crazy because the enemy troll a bit and we get a lot of stuff, but...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could have killed her without losing flash. That's what matters.
Yes, agree.
Holy montage.
Yeah, it was
Montage!
I was so
Okay,
happy.
you're smurfing.
And then Aatrox just kills me. Anticlimactic.
It's Gen X. Gen X on Aatrox.
Definitely.
It's fine.
Right.
You're laughing. You're having fun now. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
You're
for
not
sure.
stupid.
No. But I mean, the game was... For me personally, the game was... Fed one after we got the free spot lane and...
Yeah, I mean, the game is chill right now.
Yeah.
It's just like here, look, Leona can't puff like this with Seraph because you want to run straight line at them and poke them.
So...
Like, your team needs to learn how to play Seraph. Your Leona has to walk like this.
Mm-hmm.
She has to walk with you because you're always going to click forwards and poke people. Like, wherever you are a timer. Whoever is lane versus you will lose their HP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Soraka is under turret now. Is Sinsa going to go and dive Soraka?
Yeah.
He would be crazy if he did, no?
Yeah, for sure.
So what is she doing?
Yeah, I think we discussed this on the bootcamp a lot, that I want my front
Like,
line
how is this guy allowed to push mid?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if Leona's here, she gets Leona ulted, right?
Yeah.
Jinx should stand here right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because this is like one of the things, like, even LCS and LEC teams, when they played with stuff like Seraph and even Nivea, this is the big issues they had because they're so used to playing with stuff like LeBlanc and stuff that is like just fine by themselves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Seraph really needs cover. Leona could achieve the same thing by walking through mid. Like, these guys are all trolling here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just they don't play that well.
Yeah, but they're also not used to Seraph.
Yeah, for sure. I think in general it's like I'm sometimes not sure. We had a long discussion in the bootcamp. If I walk up too far, or if my front line plays too far back.
I think they play way too far back because your champ is OP. You know?
Yeah, I
But
tend to
it's
do it on other champs as well. So it's
Yeah, but that might be int, right? I don't know. I can
Yeah.
only judge from this
Yeah,
game.
for sure.
And of course, it's a game-to-game thing, right? I'm sure there's times where you are griefing,
Yeah.
but when we see those things happening, we don't want to really try to like judge it just from what happened. We need to think like what makes sense. Like you're playing Seraph, you want to poke them. How
Yeah.
can we make that happen? That's what we should be thinking.
Yeah. I
If
think
Soraka,
also
like if Leona being mid makes Soraka diveable, then it's bad. Then yes, Leona should go bot. But if Soraka is fine bot by herself, then why is Leona puffing bot if it means that you can't poke as much?
agree. What is your standing on playstyle for example, I honestly believe that on the level we play, it's like master 208 LP most of the players in the game most of the time. I have the feeling that everyone, of course, we all are really bad on an objective level, but also I think positioning mistakes happen so often, like insanely often, especially if I play Anivia. People just disrespect my wall entire game long.
Yeah.
And so my thing is like, we should play cocky to the degree that the front line is really far forward because we can then punish with CC. On the other hand, I think if we look on a perfect scale, the positioning of ourselves then isn't perfect as well. But I think it's a good way to punish the people on our level. Do you think that we should aim for perfect gameplay in a sense, or in a perfect in a way that we just
I
punish?
think it depends what the risk is
Mhm.
and what the reward is. Like if the reward of the cocky play is that you just get like a jungle camp and the risk is you lose the fucking game, you shouldn't do it.
Okay, yeah.
You know? But if it's like you win the game or you get to play your champs to the max potential, I think it's good. You know? Like I'm playing Seraph versus champs that can't all in me. I wanna be cocky.
Yeah.
Right? These champs they can't catch me. All I need is that they are not allowed to run me down. If Leona is standing there, they can't run me down because they'll get Leona combo to the face.
Yeah.
So if Leona leaves, then that has to be for a good reason.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my Soraka to die just because I want to deal 300 damage. So if Leona has to go bot to cover dive, that's good. But she just walked like that.
Yeah, you're completely right.
And that allowed them to clear midwave. And when they clear midwave, they have no reason to be mid anymore, which means they're not going to get poked.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
So, and you play Sigs and Corki, and it's like similar.
Yeah,
Now,
for sure. Like this is
one thing I think is really important though, because you mentioned you can't sidelane, which is true. Sidelaning a Seraph is really painful. But something I do a lot that you must learn is after a fight like this, Lulu is dead. Jinx is like half HP, same with Anivia. This is when you can go sidelane. Because the reason why we don't want to sidelane on Seraph is because 1, we're easy to catch. 2, we can easily get dove, stuff like that. And 3, we'll have to walk all the way back to join the fight, right?
Yes.
But we would want to be sidelined because it gives us a lot of gold, right? This is when I would go side, because my team can't die if I go side now. I can't die because they're all mid. I would go bot now, and Soraka can take over mid.
So
And then we can swap back
bot
later at some point, maybe.
Okay, so
Yes.
would you always go side, push out, reset mid?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this makes no sense that you're forcing Soraka now to go bot for like 2 free waves. Instead, she could get 1 wave mid and you can get 2 free waves bot.
Yeah, she
And
also
you'd
needs
push
like
bot.
ages for that.
Yes, yes, you'd push bot way faster than her.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I always tell people like it's very rare when we play League that we come to a conclusion like I never want to do this. Like you said, I never want to sidelane.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think I don't want to sidelane most of the time. Yes, but never is really bad way to think about things.
Yeah, for sure. Agree.
Because you should just be like, okay, now I want to go bot. I can get so much gold right now, and I can't get punished. Instead, you're just like, no, that's side lane. I can never go side lane, so I need to be mid now. That's really bad.
Yeah.
So much gold bot here. If you push out bot now, you get so much tempo on the map, and the enemy has to respond to that, and the game is so good.
Yeah.
Because you're doing nothing being mid here. It's completely useless. We get 1 wave instead of 2 to 3, and now you'll see Soraka suffer to push all of this. By doing this, you also made yourself weak side, because your teammates are hovering Soraka now. So now you need to like run around to try to like go there. If a fight happens bot, you'd have to TP now and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it even gets worse, I think. I think they actually fight, and
yeah,
I don't even
and if
move.
they want to dive, it should be Soraka being mid, and you should be there
Yeah, would
because
be
you
fair.
have more damage and stuff than Soraka.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my god, what was that? Hey, maybe she could flash in my queue.
Look at your camera control again. This reminds me of like the Sinzao thing. Like, here your teammates are killing people, right?
Yeah.
And there's probably like a lot of fucking noise in your headsets right now. Like your teams are like, oh, go, 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 Anivia, go, Anivia, go, Anivia, no flash, no flash. So you're probably losing focus. But look, Sinzao could come to gank mid, right? From top side. And look your camera.
Sure.
You're standing complete blind top side.
Yeah.
No vision top side. Your camera is entirely bot side. Just stand here and push and play safe, right?
Yeah.
Why leave yourself vulnerable?
Yeah. Also, I'm not quite sure. Do you still play with F keys spamming and stuff?
Yeah, I use F keys.
Okay.
But it depends, again, like, is the information useful, you know? Like, here, right now, I wouldn't really care about F king because I know everything that's going on. I see Aatrox is top, I know Anivia is alone.
Yeah.
You know? But there's no downsides in using F keys.
Yeah, for sure. For me,
I just think
like
that there's no point to spam them if you could get the information from using it once. Because I also want to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
I think poking her and stuff is fine. You should just stand bot side. It's so troll you're standing like this with your camera like this because he could legit stand here now and you can't even see him on your screen.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it's like I didn't see the dive coming bot side because on the minimap it looked like the wave is pushing to us, so I didn't expect it to be a slow push, so I didn't thought it would be a dive. And I think if I would use F keys, I probably could have known it. So I'm thinking about if it's worth to get the habit of using it more.
It is, because developing the habit is really easy. Like, basically just learn to use F keys when you're not constantly thinking about what's happening and what you're doing. Like here, you just kill a minion. There's nothing happening on your screen. Easy to F key right now, right?
Yes.
So you're clicking here. Why? You could easily F key there.
Yeah, actually, I with F3 I come back to myself, right? Because
depends on settings.
My backspace is taken.
Like here, I understand why you're not F keying, because right now you're trying to kill people.
Yeah, sure.
Now you could F key because there's nothing to happening on your screen, right?
Yeah.
So now you could use F keys, and now you could use it as well. And now you're gonna re-enter the wave and try to push. So now you kind of want to pay attention to what you're doing, and it's just repeating the same thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm just thinking about what is worth. I mean, it's kind of unreasonable to assume that I can get rid of a lot of bad habits or introduce a lot of good habits in 2 months, but I think F keying is probably kind of easy to introduce.
So. Yeah, because you can just do it when you're like just AFK like this. Like right now, you could look what's happening top. Will my stats get dove right now?
Yeah.
Because you kind of need to always be updated on what's happening. Like now you know exactly what's happening bot. Anivia and Sinzao turbo into the game. Okay, but what's happening top? Yeah. Can I push mid and go top here? Or do I want to push mid and base? So then I could F key once here, and then I could just push. Right? Could Aatrox roam to me here while I'm pushing? Stuff like this. Because this Aatrox in a different game will be Camille or Pantheon, stuff like that. Then you might actually get ganked while doing this push.
Yes.
Again, I would just base. I think you're griefing so much every time that you're standing hitting turrets like this. You're never going to take the turret in front of her face. So you're just like late. So again, this is the same thing with the plate. Do I want to stay for another wave? If yes, okay, you can greed. If not, just base as fast as possible.
What do you think that...
I think you're 150 gold off your item now, so staying makes sense. Yeah. But I don't know if that's what you're... Like, I don't know what you're thinking, right? Like, yeah, I don't know if you're thinking while killing this, okay, I need 200 more gold for my item. Because if you are, then what you're doing is not too bad. Yeah. But I would go and farm raptors and stuff, because I think what you're doing now is completely useless. So I would just farm raptors, but then it makes sense. But I don't know if it's now that you start thinking, oh yeah, shit, I should stay now, because 150 gold.
Yeah. You can assume that this is what's happening.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
Because what that means is that if you now needed 400 gold, you would go through with this recall, and then you'd just be late for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's in general that I think my back timings in general are not that great, and this game kind of represented kind of good, because I think this is a second bad recall, right?
Yeah.
Or at least second.
Yeah.
Not perfect. Whatever.
There's a lot. So, I mean, it's not too hard to fix because it's just basically like whenever you have gold, you should always want to use it. Like, we're not playing TFT. I saw you were playing it earlier, right? This is League. This is not TFT. And when you're playing League, any gold that is above 0 is bad because it's gold you haven't used, right? If I have 400 gold, I could buy Amptome, right? I have this much gold, I could buy needlessly. So anything above 0 is bad. Obviously, we have to think, is it worth leaving the map to get my item? Obviously, that's something to discuss. But you have 1.7k gold. If I'm you, I'm thinking, when should I base?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, my next breakpoint, I think, is 2.2k, right? For my archangles. Something like that.
I think it's like, actually on the old patch, so maybe this isn't even true.
Yeah, but if it's on new patch, at least 2.2k, I believe. So
no, yeah, sure. It's actually new. Otherwise, I couldn't see the replay. It makes sense.
So then it's like, then I can understand you staying. But you see, this is clearly not your intention, because now you're thinking I should base.
Yeah.
So this means you're changing your opinion on the fly, and that's really bad.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the reason I wanted to recall then is because I wanted to sync recalls. Then I wanted to recall and realized I don't even have the money. So it gets worse how much you think about it. But
yeah,
just thinking about it.
So just think about it faster. You would have done Raptors and you get more gold and would have been better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's bad here is that you don't insta TP. Like, your teammates are again posturing to fight. Look, Seth is fighting top. Leona is about to face check. Trundle is about to face check. You need to TP instantly, especially on champs like Seraph. Again, your champ is all about time. If you can be there for 6 seconds more, that's another combo you're throwing out.
Yeah.
Right? And you're a huge part of why your teammates can enter and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're there with your team, they can just face check and do whatever because you're like bombing enemy team, right? So, here, just buy this and insta TP on mid wave or where Leona is, because this is so late. Look how late, right?
Yeah. This is also because I didn't F key earlier to see set, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure how the fight is going, and I didn't want to TP and the Aatrox killing me. But I mean, this is all just bad. It's just a reason why I did it, but obviously the reasoning is also bad.
Well, it's good to know why we do things.
Yeah, for
sure.
Here
I would base and go bot. Like, again, same thing as before. Like, I want gold.
Yeah.
Right? I need gold. I'm playing a champ that needs gold. So I can't get all the gold I want because I'm easy to kill. Now we just killed everyone. So just base and go bot.
Yeah,
why do you want?
Is really, really smart. I think it's a
problem. Why do you want your stat? Why are you letting
sure.
stat get jackpot in bot lane? Right? There's blue buff for you as well.
I mean, if we want to do Herald, it's nice to have set bot for TP, but the Herald is free
there's
anyway.
nothing to TP for. They're dead. That's the entire point.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Now you're overcomplicating things. Once we overcomplicate, it gets hard to learn. It's really simple. I want to get gold. I can't get gold because people will kill me because I'm playing Seraph. That's a weakness of my champ.
Yeah, agree.
So as soon as we kill him, you should like reward yourself. Like, okay, now I can run around and do whatever the fuck I want. That can be taking their jungle camps. That can be doing something greedy on side lane. But right now there's no gold for me top anymore. So I'm going bot. I don't care. It's not even good for Seth to be versus Anivia. So Seth just joined my cannon wave, and now you're gonna let him take this too? No. That's not happening. I'm basing.
I think
and then I'm pushing.
It's in general it's bad because I in general after fights I always miss timings. Like it's really hard for me to think.
Yeah, but that's because it's not a habit for you yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like when I'm playing the game, I'm not thinking during the fight, oh, I'm gonna go bot now after this. It's just like it clicks in my head, oh, they're all dead. I look at the map, where the fuck can I greed now? Right?
Yeah, agree.
Where can I go and greed? Where can I go and do what I couldn't do earlier? And I'll see the bot wave and I'll be like, I'm taking that.
Yeah. I think just that simple thinking will instantly fix it. Because I think it's actually I'm thinking about it, right? I'm thinking about what to do next. I just don't find the solution, right? So
like you're running around valuing poking this guy 400 HP instead of getting 500 gold in bot.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree.
So like sometimes there will be cases like you want your set to go bot because he's versus enemy top lane and it's just better to keep those lane assignments, and that's fine, but you don't even want this set versus Anivia.
Yes.
So like now you and Leona are just like sitting here hitting top turret and stuff.
And now it
And you
gets
could have
even
just
worse.
pushed out. Yeah,
To
like
spawn
you
them.
guys are so delayed. And you could just push out bot fully because Anivia can't stop you. And then Seth could go back versus his laner versus Aatrox. And none of this stuff will happen. And you would take blue buff. And then everything is fine.
Yeah, this is so horrible now.
Yeah. And we have to rotate around in jungle. Like I mentioned before, we really don't want to have to do that at Seraph.
Yes. Kind of illegal how long I survive with Soraka, by the way.
Yeah, Soraka is cool champ. You guys have a really good Soraka team comp as well.
Yeah,
Because the thing with Soraka is she's similar to Seraph. She can't like walk around and enter. But you guys have like Seth, Trundle, Leona. They can all like int for her. So it's really nice.
It was actually our the scrim was to see if we can actually play it in Lulu Jinx, because we always expected it to counter it because of scaling, and at some point they just go through the front line, and we realized this will not happen at our level because at some point Jinx Lulu fuck up.
Yeah, as long as you guys have some kind of engage, which you do, it's fine. Jinx can kind of outrange though, which is a thing.
Yeah.
So
I actually like the Xer pick here.
did he take your fucking blue? Okay, never mind.
No.
I thought they took it.
No. But it's happened in the past, and we are still friends, so I got
Yeah.
too nice.
I would ult her here. Because the thing about Seraph ult is that if you hit, let's say, 2 here, she has to flash the next.
Or Lulu ult, right?
Or Lulu has her ult. And if Lulu uses ult, that's more valuable than your ult.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can't fight as well as they want to.
Okay.
And you just make it so that they can't do stuff. Like, she needs to base. Like, even if Lulu ults this Jinx, Jinx still needs to base. So, like, that's how I play Seraph. It's just like, I poked him just like you did, but if there's a 30% chance I kill him with my ult, I will ult. Because I don't see the value in having my ulti up.
Because you can't use it in team fights?
Yes, in a lot of team fights, you don't even want to use it because using WQ is actually just better.
Yeah.
So when I see this chance, I'm like, 1, I can get her flash, 2, I can kill her, 3, I can get Lulu ult.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Sometimes even I get Lulu ult and Jinx flash. I would rather do that than to now keep my ult, because what am I keeping my ult for? And your ult is like, what, 60 seconds cooldown or something at this point too?
Yeah. I mostly play 6. It's obviously different there, but Exerted makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Beautiful kid steal.
Nice. It's good you have made ice.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Soraka. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Look her heal.
Yeah, she's kind of illegal. We also do the thing where she buys a support item now, and we get double vision. It's so beautiful to watch.
Like late game, like once you're like free items, you can also just like 100 to 0 people with ult. It's so fun.
Yeah. I did that in the same scrim set. I actually did it to Misfortune 2 times in a team fight. And she just stopped ulting altogether. She didn't use ult for another 12 minutes or something. And it's just lovely. I actually didn't play Xerath all season long. I just picked it up because we got fucked over. Oh my god, what am I? Nah.
But again, look your gold. How is it possible you're running around with 2.8k gold like the entire game?
This is a good question.
Like here, I would want to base sell my D-ring by 2 needlessly, you know?
Yeah.
Or you could base by needlessly and sword shoes. That's fine too. That's probably better.
Yeah, at least with Lune's build, right?
Yeah. But you're just like refusing to base.
Yeah. That's,
like you need to yell in these guys' ears that you need to base.
Yeah.
Because you guys are so ahead, your teammates will always see an angle to fight, but we should just relax, get items, and then we can just do whatever we want.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now you're hard stuck on the map.
Even if they want to limit test, I mean, I don't have to participate, right?
Yeah, unless you want to too, but I don't think there's anything to limit test there. What are we limit testing?
Yeah, I think Soraka's C capacity is up for discussion in this game now. But yeah.
Like limit testing is like the biggest like copium excuse
It's
of
insane.
anything.
Actually, we're in the bootcamp. We kind of got tilted at
Not
each
a
other.
single
So.
person is ever learning from limit testing.
Yeah.
Okay, you can just insta buy Rabadons. Nice, nice. Well, see, now you should just be ulting every fucking second. Like, here, you see her in mid, just ult her. Like, it doesn't matter if she sidesteps one, like, you kill her in 4 out of 5 here.
Yeah. Would you
But
switch
you
to
just...
blue trinket? I mean, in general,
Yes,
it's
I
even
would have done
better.
that way earlier.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes ago. Like, when you get to the point that you're kind of running around the map a bit more, I would start getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see, I don't understand why you don't ult her, you know? It makes no sense. Like, she can't play if you ult.
Yeah, you're completely right. I just...
Like, look your damage. Look. It's insane. And it's also, it's just good practice. Like, if you want to talk about limit test, that is a good way to limit test because you get to practice your aim.
Yeah, exactly.
Without
I completely agree.
losing anything if it fails, you know?
Yeah. I just didn't have the...
Okay, she's dead.
Yeah, actually, I'm done. Right. But she should be, yeah. It's so fun at this point, right?
Yeah, of course. This is so nice. Like, especially with their champs, because there's nothing to be scared about. Like, you don't have to worry about a Rakan flanking you or like a Kha'Zix coming. They just have like 5 AFK champs. It's so perfect Seraph game.
Yeah.
They're all just like standing there. Nobody can reach you. Like, it's so nice.
Actually, the pathing, I think I walked introduced to it like 3 times or something. It's kind of...
Like, I really wish Perks would play Seraph because in NA, Power of Evil, like, was perma playing like Asir, Victor, Orianna.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if we could play Seraph versus that, it's so free win every game.
Yeah, I mean, actually we got 1 third games at Worlds, right? Showmaker actually played,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean, every mid laner should learn Seraph because it's just checkmate some games. Like, they can't do anything this game. Not a single one of their champs can reach you.
Yeah.
Only thing they can hope for is like Aatrox has some kind of magical TP flank ward. But even that you can easily outplay Aatrox flank, right? So
yeah, also we even at our level, perfect engages are so hard to find. So we actually had a game where we had Lee Sin Rakan and still felt like Sad is really OP. So I think it's
yeah,
by far best. Yeah, thank you so much, man. This is actually, I think, most important for me actually is recoil discussion and the after fight lane assignment, or not lane assignment, just greed. I think
it's also really important for you to figure out ways for you to keep focus better in the games, because there's so many times in that game where you lose focus, and you will need to be able to focus to learn these things, because like you're able to do a lot while being an autopilot because you've learned the things. And the things about rotations, that will become your autopilot once you've learned it. But to learn it, you need to have focus.
Agree, yeah.
Right? Whenever you're learning something new, like even outside of League of Legends, like IRL, you need to pay attention. Right? When you're driving for the first times, right? You have to pay a lot of attention.
Yes.
And then eventually it becomes autopilot. So I don't know exactly what's distracting you, right? Because you will know that probably better. Like maybe it's your teammates' communication, maybe it's too loud, maybe it's too much noise, maybe it's stress. I don't know, right?
Sure.
But I would try to figure that out, because I think that will help you learn what to improve on. Because a lot of people know what to improve, they just can't do it because there's things hindering them, right?
Yeah.
And stopping them from doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
like, at least for me, big part why I decided to do coaching instead of playing competitive is because whenever I play and there's like voice comms, I just can't focus because there's so much noise. So I can't pay attention to the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think for me, actually, it's a lot about how much I stream before scrims, obviously. But this is like...
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy and stuff, right? Or
yeah, for sure. And it kind of depends on what I did before that. And I tend to, as long as a game is on my shoulder, I kind of tend to focus all the time. And it's really hard for me once I assume this game is won. Not that we win all the games I assume we are winning.
Yeah, when you feel like it's winnable, you lose focus and get relaxed
exactly.
more.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, the game was won after 4 minutes or something.
Yeah.
My teammates heavily disagree on this, and for good reason so, because we don't win the games I assume won. But it's something that I think either I changed my mindset and this game isn't won yet, and then focus, or I just changed the focus thing. I think it's kind of depends on how much I actually want to improve, because I could definitely stream less, take a break, and be prepared for scrims, and do viewership, or I don't. And I think it's just priorities and how I want to approach it. On that, the moment,
I think your viewers would be understandable of it too.
For sure, definitely.
And I think if it makes you a better player, that would increase viewership later down the line as well.
Oh, so true, yeah. This is part of the reason I wanted to do it now. Also, losing doesn't feel great anymore. Like,
of course, losing never feels good.
Yeah, actually, I like when I did so much casting and stuff, it was like, yeah, we play for fun and we still are kind of decent. That's okay. But now I don't cast anymore, so the excuse is gone, and so losing hurts a lot more. And I got the time I could do more. Yeah,
especially when you lose versus people you don't think is good, then it's
exactly. Wow. In the past, I was always the worst midliner, and I managed to hold in because I played like Ziggs and Anivia, and I can just farm some shit. And now I feel like I want to win games, actually. What do you think about Shadow Flames, by the way? It's kind of bad, right?
I think you have to compare it to Void stuff, and it barely beats Void stuff. Like it's like very few cases where it beats Void stuff, so it's not good.
I actually saw a Reddit thread with the math. I think the only solution that was kind of nice is actually bidding both, but then you only do damage more against people with 80 MR or something.
Yeah, because like the thing is like, when we're calculating items and looking at items, the easiest items to calculate are items like that you can compare versus Rabadons and Void stuff, because we're just judging damage, and Shadow Flame just doesn't deal enough damage.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like some cases like where they don't have a lot of MR and they have shields. That would be like the best time to buy it.
Yes.
But any other case, Void stuff is just beating it.
Yeah. I tested it a bit and it also felt bad. But I'm kind of robbing you of your time already, man. I think
I don't mind. I don't have like a strict time. Like if there's anything else you feel like would help you, just go ahead and ask. I don't have like a strict time.
Actually, I think one situation that, if you don't mind, I would like to talk about over again is actually in the Xerath game. I think like 5 minutes in or something, where I wanted to hold the freeze and poke at the same time, and I had the feeling that you're actually on the live stream.
Oh, how did I end up there? Wait, let me.
Big mistake, by the way. Don't do it. Actually, for me, it was like you first talked about that I should poke, and for me, it would be interesting. It was kind of early, I think. Yeah, something here.
It's like before your recall, right? The bad recall.
Yeah.
You mean when you went warding, or what?
No, actually
like
here.
Before the streets, or
this one. You said like I should walk up to a W, and it makes perfect sense in this situation. But for me, it's kind of what I'm missing at the moment is like a clear plan what I want to do. And how do you approach this? Is this something where you're like, okay, I'm Xerath, so I want to poke all the time?
Or it's about spacing and how dangerous it is to enter your range. Like your range versus her range, she does not have any threat on you.
Yes.
With the range that you have and her champ. Like if this is LB, I would not tell you to do what I told you to do.
For sure, makes sense. But do you watch, like, you don't worry about the wave state, right? So I just wanted to.
Well, if she starts standing in the wave, and then I have to ask myself, is it worth to deal 100 damage to then end up being pushed? Right? That's why I don't want to let her enter the wave. That's why I was so upset that I see now you have perfect freeze, and she runs away from the wave. Now she has to re-enter. She should take damage.
Okay. No, okay, right? Okay, I get it.
Once she enters and stands, then we have the option to either one, let her farm, and then we keep the freeze, or two, we have to damage her, but then we need to understand we're pushing, right? That's again something that will change, because sometimes you're not gankable, sometimes you get too big of a damage where it doesn't matter, right? Like if she gets to 100 HP and I break my freeze, that's worth it.
Yeah. No,
Because
makes perfect sense. For me,
she's
it's
gonna get killed
more.
and stuff, right?
Yeah, for me, it's more like, do I look at the wave state first or at the other first? But I mean, League of Legends is all about the situation anyway, right? And it just feels like, at the moment, I feel a bit clueless about how I want to approach it. But I think a lot of stuff today, if I actually make it work in the game, will generally give me a better idea about what I do, because I have an aim to do, like the recalling. Obviously, if I want to get another 150 gold, I will hard push the next wave. It just makes sense, and it comes together.
Yeah. I mean, what you're discussing is an important point, because you're very scared of pushing because you can get ganked easily.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But what you're discussing is something that cannot happen right now. What I mean is, you poking her now does not mean you're pushing.
Yes. Yeah, makes sense.
You're not hitting minions. It can happen in a different game versus a different person doing something different, which is standing here.
Yes.
This is something that people might intentionally do to you when you're playing stuff like Syndra or Seraph, because obviously if you poke with Syndra or Seraph here, you're going to push the entire wave.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself the question if that is worth it. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. Same for top lane. Let's say you're playing Renekton and you have a freeze as Renekton. Renekton is a very good example for this. So you're blue side Renekton, you have freeze here, enemies here. He's full HP. And you're freezing. Yeah. You could dash on him. And then now by doing that, you're queuing and Eing the entire wave and pushing.
Yeah.
That is worth it if now he's so low that you can slow push and dive him.
Yeah.
But if he only took 100 to 200 damage and now he's under turret farming for free, that's not good.
Yeah.
So it's same for mid lane.
Yeah,
it's just different champs, so sometimes it's a bit different. Yes. But here it's like crazy illegal what she's doing because she's standing away from minions. She's half HP already. It's completely free.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's really illegal, right? I mean, this wave state, her game is over, and she wants to defreeze with level 2 Lulu. Kind of blows my mind. But
yeah, and if she was lower HP when that was happening too, right?
Yeah, it's a double kill.
We could have get more kills maybe.
Yeah,
like
completely.
I have an example here where I play Riven versus Nasus, and it's basically same thing. Like throughout the entire lane, it's the same thing. So I have a perma freeze on him, and there was a time where I could all in eventually, but it would break my freeze, and I instead just keep freeze. He has to TP back and stuff, and everything is good. And you will see here on the bounce. Watch. So I set the vision. So I'm chilling, right? Like he's like Malphite 2 claw farmers, but I'm trying to say that. And now I want to let it bounce to me. Yeah. And yes, I could fight him here and I could deal damage, but then he's under turret.
Yes.
And he will just lifesteal with his passive under turret and heal up. So I will just be patient and I will just let the wave bounce to me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it might be boring, but this is the correct thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do like short trades, but I won't commit fully. And I will just let the wave bounce in like this. And it will just be like this. And then I will eventually all in him. Because now he has to start overextending more. As you can see how the wave develops, right? It's going to get worse and worse for him. And a lot of people on Renekton and stuff would get really bored and they would instantly all in. So now eventually I will get to all in him here. And sadly he lives on 10 HP, but as you can see, the idea is right. Because now he has to overextend.
Yeah.
So. Lucky he's Malphite.
Yeah, it's kind of... I think you would have killed him if you engaged with Iron Spec.
I could have done auto W. Because I did just W. If I did auto W, he would be lower and I would kill him.
Yeah. I think it's just... For me, it's kind of tricky because I feel like I have a good wave control on top lane and I feel so lost in mid. And I see all the concepts and I just have to get used to it to see it the same in the mid lane. And it's way harder to me to see it at the moment. And I'm just grasping the concept. But it actually helps me a lot to actually be able to ask a few questions because it just saves me time, you know? Like I still believe that eventually I would come to the point where I say, hey, I should just poke if he auto attacks. But it just takes me way more games. And being faster with this would be really, really helpful. So this helps.
Also on Anivia, So if this can load, yeah. So I go precision or sorcery second. I go precision versus Syndra, but not for the reason you're doing it. You must go this. This is so int. And if this rune is not useful, I go sorcery. Because you go this for mana, but mana flow will give you the same, if not more, sometimes if you don't get resets, right? Like, obviously this can reset your mana, but mana flow is going to give you mana overall. So, mana flow is just better than this. But this is a very good rune, especially versus Syndra. So, like, here I would go precision and go this and this. But here, I don't see why you would have precision. Like, Achan, Kha'Zix, I would just have mana flow and transcendence, have more spells. Coup de Grace is not really gonna do much, no?
Yeah, I'm actually a huge Presence of Mind fan because I don't play tier. Do you play tier?
Yes, but mana... no, I don't. But mana flow band... Mana flow is giving you 250 mana flat.
Yeah.
Right? That's already more than Presence of Mind. And it's also gonna heal over time. So it's the same.
But can you actually teamfight with it? I actually didn't change my Nivea runes for quite some time, and I had the feeling that mana flow band doesn't allow me
I think
teamfights.
I haven't ever had a really issue with that. I've never had an issue where I was like 200 mana and then I get a reset and get pentakill, you know? It's like, thing about mana is like, unless you're laning, you can easily manage mana, right? During lane, mana is a bit of a problem on Anivia, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want to trade all the time. But for lane, mana flow is way better than Presence of Mind.
Yeah.
The only argument you can make with Presence of Mind is that maybe in a team fight you can get some reset, but why are you in a team fight, right? Isn't that a different thing to discuss?
Yeah,
like,
probably.
That shouldn't happen.
Right, yeah.
And also, I go Relentless Hunter. I don't go this rune is so bad.
Yeah, it got nerfed, right?
Yeah, it's got nerfed so many times. So I like this, so I can run up and wall people.
Oh, this is
and
lovely.
Makes you rotate so much faster.
How much movement speed does it give? Is it like flat or is it percent?
It's flat.
Huh.
See? So you get 5 already, and then you get 8 plus per bounty. So you just end up zooming through the map.
That's kind of legal, no?
Yep. Yeah, it's really good. I go it on Veigar and Anivia all the time, and you're so fast.
Oh, do you play Predator Veigar, by the way?
Well, I used to. Then he nerfed it. Now I only do it versus long range.
Yeah.
Like, versus like stuff like Seraph I would go with, but versus melees I just go electrocute.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, perfect.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Just
no problem.
Was really helpful. My plan at the moment is like I will have a few different coach lessons with different coaches and try to pick up another playstyle as well, as I already said. And if this actually happens, or if I play new champs, I would love to go for another lesson, but I will just message you with Discord, right?
Yeah, sure. We just stay in contact.
If people want to check you out, you also have a really well Patreon account, right? Solar's always dreaming about it. He's saying it's so good. How can people find that? Just Veigar.
I'll send you a link.
So I can maybe also link us behind this coaching for everyone who want to get involved. And booking a coaching at the moment is quite tricky, right? Or
yeah, I mean, it's hard now during Christmas, but next year it will be easy again.
Okay, I see. So this.
All right, man. Good luck.
Well, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so Leute, da war das Coaching. Veigar V2, Coach bei Cloud9. Sehr, sehr hilfreich. Für mich, jeder, der es auschecken will, ist einfach patrons.com/Veigar V2. Sehr, sehr viel Input natürlich, ne? Weil es halt eben kein Coaching-Projekt ist, was über einen längeren Zeitraum geht, sondern sehr viel. Ich habe ein paar Fragen zu F-Keys gehört, das ist einfach F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. Kannst du durch die Leute durchgehen. Ja, ich will diese ganze Coaching-Sachen einfach ein bisschen dokumentieren auf dem Zweitkanal. Deswegen gibt es mit Tolkien gab es, als dieses Video kommt, schon den Zusammenschnitt. Das hier wird uncut kommen, weil es halt einfach keinen Sinn macht, das zu trennen, sondern weil es halt auch kein Game-Coaching war, sondern man halt VOD-Review macht. Ich glaube, es sind viele Punkte, die man ansetzen kann. War nicht das beste Game als Beispiel, weil es ein Game war, was verhältnismäßig gut lief. Aber ich glaube, es ist trotzdem interessant gewesen. Es war natürlich sehr, sehr viel gleichzeitig, ne? Aber das wäre natürlich, also ich gehe fest davon aus, dass wenn ich jetzt in einem Team wäre mit ihm, dass er niemals so coachen würde. Weil generell, das ist kein gutes Habit als Coach, alles gleichzeitig anzusprechen. Aber wenn Leute nur 1 Stunde bei ihm buchen, ist es, glaube ich, mega worth, dass er einfach alles anspricht und am Ende dir das VOD zur Verfügung stellst und du quasi Step by Step alles durchgehst und dir immer eigene Targets setzt. Und ich glaube, gerade für euch ist es vielleicht auch ja, sinnvoll, das Ganze mitzunehmen. Ich hoffe, es hat euch trotzdem was gebracht. Und deswegen schaut gerne auf Twitch vorbei, wenn ihr das Improvement sehen wollt. Und Grüße ans Kanal.